Pippies, mussels, crabs, crayfish, barramundi, salmon, squid, scallops, prawns. Oh, yeah, red emperor.
Yes!
That is bloody beautiful.
Oh.
I've got the red emperor. Exactly what I want. I don't think I've ever moved this quickly in my life.
Going with pantry number 4 means that Diana's only got 30 minutes to cook.
Yeah, Diana.
That is not a lot of time. I'm feeling really stressed for her. She's got to be precise with this. She has to cook accurately and she has to cook quickly.
I'm gonna do a chili paste fish with a fillet of beautiful red emperor and a really fresh herb to go on the side. I think I've definitely made the right decision, but I gotta move so quickly, it's not even funny.
I've got less than half an hour to make this dish. I have to move so fast. Time is definitely an issue, but I move quicker in the kitchen when I know exactly what I'm doing. Waiting has paid off. You know, it gave me time to think and plan. I've already got my paste. The paste is going to be the base for a good sambal. Now I'm going to put it in the oil with some lemongrass and kaffir lime leaves and get that frying. Whilst my sambal is simmering, I'm going to move on to the fish. Red emperor is such a beautiful fish and it's just the perfect fish for this dish. Because of the time constraints, I'm just gonna fillet one piece so that I can cook it and not waste time doing anything else.
Diana's totally on fire at the moment. Working neat, clean, and working fast.
This fish has to be perfect. Everything is riding on it.
Come on, Di. With confidence.
You know how to do this. Beautiful. Yes.
I want to make sure that this fish is well seasoned. So I'm just going to coat the fish lightly in some turmeric and salt just to give it that beautiful golden color. It's so important that I cook this fish properly. If I don't cook it properly, I'm going to end up going home today.
Jeez, it smells good.
It does. Is the strategy playing out well?
Yep. Yeah, the strategy has definitely planned out well. It is what I wanted it to be under the last box.
Cool. And I like you under this pressure. It's good. You're going.
Yes.
You're moving, which is good.
See this piece of fish here?
Yes.
It all hinges on this. So get it right.
Okay.
Come on, Diane.
All right, no worries.
Di, let's go.
It smells good, though.
Oh, it smells amazing.
Today, I had less than half an hour to make this dish. I was like Speedy Gonzalez in the kitchen, but it's not over yet. The sauce is complex, full of flavor, but the fish has to be cooked perfectly. I'm just having everything crossed at the moment, hoping and praying that it's exactly how it should be cooked. I've made the red emperor on a spicy, fragrant sambal.
It's like a ray of sunshine, isn't it? It's like
certainly glowing.
Oh, I want to lay in front of it and sunbake. It just looks beautiful. It looks homely but sophisticated.
Looks beautiful. Come on, let's go. Let's taste.
What do you think is how's that fish cooked, George?
You know what, Matt?
I reckon it looks pretty
Cooked
pretty darn good.
perfectly.
Yeah, look at that. Gary?
Makes me so happy. On many levels, it's the reason I love food so much, because it's so honest and robust and full of flavour and
That sambal is so good. I mean, that chili hit, the soundness possibly from lime, just absolutely beautiful. I love it. And the red emperor is just perfectly cooked.
But what a clever fish to cook. It's like the head chef fillets it.
Yeah.
No one touches it because it's so expensive and it's so beautiful and we cannot put a mistake on it. She hasn't put not one mistake on it. Crisp skin, you know, fish cooked perfectly. I love how she's rubbed the outside with a bit of turmeric to enhance not only flavour, but the colour. So it's like this, you're like bamboozled by this monochrome colour of yumminess.
It's just absolutely plate-scrapingly delicious.
Never in my life did I think I'd be cooking in these settings, so I'm absolutely inspired. I'm feeling really good. I'm looking at the produce in front of me. Such distinctly Japanese, beautiful ingredients that we often don't get in Australia. I'm in Japan. It's an absolute priority that I celebrate Japanese ingredients. Yuzu's in the back of my mind and I know I want to pair it with seafood. My eyes lock onto this beautiful fresh squid.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that looks beautiful.
Yeah. It's perfect. It's a perfect match for yuzu. Yuzu is an intense flavoured citrus. You know, the juice as well as the zest has this incredible aromatic, it's like lemon meets orange meets lime meets kumquats. It's everything. It's just uniquely yuzu.
So today I'm going to be doing some squid with yuzu salt. I'm going to be doing a broad bean and yuzu puree, pickled broad beans and pickled corn.
I'm using yuzu in almost every element today. To get to the second round, my dish is all about balance. If I use too much yuzu, it'll overwhelm everything else on the plate. So I have to get this right, otherwise there's no way I'm going to win that pin today. I'm using the yuzu in a lot of different ways today. I'm gonna make a roasted yuzu salt, just so I can incorporate yuzu in my dish in a really interesting way, and I think the judges are gonna love it.
At the moment, I've got my yuzu salt dehydrating in the oven, but I've got to get onto my broad bean puree.
The puree is just another vehicle for me to get that yuzu flavor across, to use it in a different way, a different texture.
So, Sarah, yuzu everywhere. I'm just concerned that yuzu is such a strong flavour, and it's used very sparingly here, very elegantly for fragrance. Just got to be very careful about that.
Absolutely.
Cooking yuzu in different applications can be quite overwhelming. I've got to make sure I'm tasting every element. It's all about balance with yuzu.
Oh, that's better.
I feel like I'm on the right track, but I just hope that I really get it right today.
I'm going to try and taste some of the capers with the yuzu just to see if that kind of works together or not. I think it's a little kind of different.
I've never used capers and yuzu before. I don't think I've ever eaten capers and yuzu. The capers are kind of a thought bomb.
Oh, yeah.
I'm tasting it with a bit of yuzu juice, and it's beautiful. It's actually really good.
Yeah, I want those.
Fried mushrooms, they're gonna be their own flavor, and that's to dial down that tartness from the yuzu. You know, that's how I'm gonna get to the second round, by making sure I've got impeccable balance of that yuzu flavor. I'm really confident with my dish, but I'm also really nervous. It's gotta be right. I'd be devastated if I didn't get to round 2.
Happy?
Yeah, really happy.
We're a little concerned that you got a lot of yuzu running through that. So you've got it in salt, the broad bean puree, and...
The pickles. I tasted everything to make sure they were balanced and not overpowering, so really quite happy with it.
Right. What's the dish?
So today I've cooked a squid with roasted yuzu salt, broad bean and yuzu puree, and some pickles.
Right. Good taste.
What a beautiful, elegant, sophisticated dish. I was really worried that the yuzu was going to impede the flavour, but that slight bitterness is balanced by that good punch of roast yuzu salt. And I love all those different things you find, the tiny mushrooms, the little pop of those crispy capers. It's delicious.
It's cooking that we expect from you. Delicious. Detail, technique, and a lovely hum of yuzu throughout the whole dish. Wow.
So those concerns about too much yuzu just went straight out the window, didn't they? Because it tastes delicious.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Aaron might read the seafood section and the produce is just looking absolutely amazing.
All of our fish is responsibly sourced, so you're not destroying the environment.
The barramundis huge, it's fresh.
Have you got prawns?
We have some really good prawns. Yeah, so they're these ones here.
Oh, they are awesome.
They're really big.
The prawns are absolutely massive, so it's great news for us because we can then keep them in the shells and they'll be absolutely delicious.
All sorted. Let's go and cook. Yeah.
Really excited looking at all of that amazing produce. You know, seafood's fantastic. Going to be a good day today.
Shall I start on the prawns and the calamari?
Yeah, prawns and calamari, perfect. Thanks, Ray.
For the starter, we're going to have some grilled prawns and also some Szechuan calamari. So I've got Ray smashing out the prawns. I've got Sam on the calamari.
I think we try and keep fish down that end, keep it really clean and keep all greenery and stuff here.
For our mains, we're actually going to steam barramundi pieces. It's going to be sitting in a beautiful Thai broth. And then for the second main dish, we've got a seared tuna with plum sauce. Aaron's going to be working on that.
There's nothing particularly easy within the menu we've chosen to cook. Everything takes a lot of work, boning, shelling, all of that kind of stuff. So we're going to have to really motor today.
Come on, guys, remember, push right from the start, yeah?
Come on, guys, we need to move. We are in big trouble.
Service is just around the corner. We need to start cooking those proteins to get everything else ready for entree service.
Aaron, you've got to be quicker, man.
I'm going as fast as I can. Going as fast as I can. As soon as I've got all of the tuna prepped and in the fridge, I move on to the barra. It's just taking a lot of time. There's 2 trays of fish in there that I still haven't got started on. Yeah, very worried.
With an hour to go to service, Aaron's still taking the skin off the fish for the barramundi main dish. Sam's finishing off the calamari for the entree.
How you going, Sam? Nearly done.
Sweet. But Ray's still on prawns. I wanted this done like an hour ago, so yeah, we're in real trouble.
I'm still struggling with all these prawns. I got to devein them and I've got to get them reserved properly so that when we cook them, we can put them straight on the griddle.
It's very fiddly.
I think all of the blue team are starting to get a little bit worried that we're not going to have food ready for the entree service.
Blue team, rev each other up, support each other. You need to know where everyone's at.
Guys, we're not working quick enough. We need to work harder, okay?
Come on, guys, let's go. Let's get it together.
Come on, blue team. We're quiet in here.
Come on, blue team.
Ben?
Yes. Are you going to be able to get the entree up?
They're just starting to get sealed now.
All the veggies are ready to go,
okay.
so yep.
All right, as long as you reckon you can do it.
Absolute battle stations now. I'm getting the woks ready because I'm going to be wok frying that calamari, trying to push out those entrees. We're trying to clear down a space so we can plate up. It's absolutely hectic. It's madness right now, and not sure if we're going to get it done in time.
It's all hands on deck on entree.
To get these prawns perfect, I put them cut side down on the hot griddle plate for a couple of minutes, then I flip them over onto the shell and then give them a generous coating in the coriander mint butter.
Keep going, Ray. Doing good, Ray. Keep pushing.
We get a bit of a system going and the prawns are coming through a lot more frequently. And I know people have had to wait, but at the end of the day, it's the food that's going to count. And I'm super stoked with these starters. They just look amazing.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, look at that. That's great.
How good does that look?
Oh, well done. Nice work. Wow. I love to make an entrance like that.
I'm just sitting here in awe because they were in a world of pain. Good on them now. I'm definitely going to give them a pat on the back.
It's a surprise. This was cooked with moments to go, and I think they've done a smashing job. Perfectly cooked, really beautiful, and they're creamy too. They've really respected the seafood, looked after it, cooked it carefully. Calamari, again, delicious, perfectly cooked. I'm very pleased with that.
That lovely sort of crispness from the fennel, the radish, it's got a bit of pickle to it. Can't really fault it. I'm sort of sitting here quite happy.
Yeah, look at it.
That makes sense.
And if you hadn't eaten the 4th prawn, George Wright would have.
Yeah.
Orders are just flying in. We're struggling to keep up, but at least the barramundi's ready. So I'm plating up the dish. I'm putting in some of those Asian greens, a piece of that steamed barramundi, some of that broth, and then Ben's finishing it with some coriander and the crispy skin. Behind, 1 barra.
It's cooked nice. It's been steamed.
It's cooked beautifully. You know, if the broth's good, who knows?
I like the tom yummy flavour of the Thai broth. Fish is beautifully cooked. Crispy skin adds some texture. A nice dish, very nice dish.
I think that barramundi is absolutely perfect, to be honest. It's really moist and delicious, fragrant, light. Perfect, perfect, perfect.
Let's keep pushing. Good work, everyone.
That's top marks for me. I think that's very clever. It's very sophisticated and really tasty.
I have completely lucked out with ingredients. I've got seafood. And I'm going to be working with Moreton Bay bugs on just a stove and an oven. I haven't cooked with bugs a whole lot, but I absolutely love the flavours. Whenever I go out to a restaurant, I order it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to poach the bugs, and they're going to be sitting in like a really beautiful broth with some of the Pernod in it. I've been blessed with some beautiful bugs, and the idea behind today is just to keep that produce really, clean. I don't want to do too much to it. It's a beautiful piece of meat. And I think showing maybe some of that restraint might keep me in the competition. Today's all about potluck, and I'm cooking poached bugs with a Pernod seafood bisque. I'm just making like a quick tomato paste. I'm just going to really bake these down and then sort of blitz it through the broth at the end. So for my bisque today, I get the caramelised shells from the Moreton Bay bugs, and then also heat up some mussels and use the juices from that and add the two together.
Ben, what is that?
Samphire.
Yeah. Oh, love it.
Oh, salty.
No, it's good. You've got great flavours. You've got great flavours. It smells really good, Ben.
The most important thing about this whole entire dish is the bisque. The bisque just has to sing through. So the most important thing that I can do today is just try to feed as much flavour into that bisque, because it's going to be my saving grace.
I'm going to play with it. I'm going to try boiling it, see if I can get rid of some of the saltiness.
There is a whole lot of pressure on cooking those bugs perfectly today. Normally I would sous vide them to keep the temperature moderated, but I don't have that today. It's going to have to be old school and just by the eye in a pot. I've got a beautiful bisque, I know that, but I'm showing a lot of restraint. And if one of my elements fail, that means I don't have a whole lot to fall back on, so these bugs have to be perfect. This challenge was all about the utilities that were provided for you on the bench, and I'm trying to take this Moreton Bay bug out of its shell, and I've got no scissors. I have to be so careful because one bad element is almost a sure way home.
What's the dish?
Poached bugs with a Pernod and seafood bisque.
Great.
So much at stake today, isn't there?
So much.
But sure, you must be happy. I mean, did you think you would get this far in the competition?
No, honestly, no. I'm really stoked with the amount that I've grown in here.
Yeah.
I've learned so much, and I'll only get one crack at this, so I want to make the most of it for sure.
Yeah.
Would you like to dress the dish?
Love to.
Cool.
Thank you, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, guys.
What do you reckon, boys? Geez, as soon as he poured that crustacean sauce in, how good does it look?
Yeah, I love the way he hasn't messed about with the bug meat. It's such a beautiful sweet meat. It really needs nothing else. Beautiful.
Thank you. Love it. I think it's delicious. I think the bugs are cooked beautifully. I think there's plenty of flavour. I think it's really, really good.
And it just goes to show 3-4 ingredients. Again, yes, the bisque has lots of complexity to it, but that's really what's on the plate, and it's enjoyable.
You know what's good too is he made the most of the equipment that he had. He was able to, utilise all of those things to, make a delicious dish.
You're absolutely right. The butteriness of that bisque, the delicious, slightly reduced kind of acidity of the roasted tomatoes, and that perfectly cooked bug, which is unadorned, and everything just supports that. Great dish.
What's the pressure cooker for, Diana?
I'm going to make a pearl barley risotto, and then I'm going to stuff it in some squid, and then I'll do a sauce to go with it.
You should keep cooking, because your pearl barley can't be nutty.
Okay, thank you.
I've taken a lot on, and I know I have. The pearl barley risotto takes ages to cook, and to also clean the squid and stuff it and then cook it is going to be a massive push for me. 1 hour is not long at all. But today's not about just sitting back I have it in me to produce a really good dish, and I just want to show the judges what I can do. The best part about this week is that we have Yotem for the whole week. I'm going to push myself to the absolute max.
Really pushing it.
I've cleaned my squid. My pearl barley's done, but I've got to make the risotto now. To make my pearl barley risotto, I have to cook my green herb sauce. I'm going to go out to the garden and grab some herbs. I'm thinking of something peppery, so I grabbed some nasturtium leaves, parsley and basil, and a little bit of dill, just to mix up the flavours.
Jesus, Mick, you are intense, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're under the pump then?
It's definitely a risk taking this on, but I want to put a tasty dish up, so I'm going to push myself to the end.
Time is not your friend, is it?
No, it's not.
At this stage, I'm getting really, really worried, but there's no turning back. I've gone with the idea. I have to make the most of it.
I am so under the pump.
Today, I definitely tried to step outside the box. I'm giving it my 110%. I've cooked my pearl barley risotto, I've stuffed the squid, I've spiced it. It's just crazy. Every element is there, I just need to get it on the plate.
Diana, what have you cooked?
Pearl barley and herb risotto stuffed in a spiced squid.
You happy?
Yeah.
You worked harder.
I did.
You're running around like frantic.
It was the craziest cook I've had in this kitchen. Yeah, I think I actually pushed myself to the brim today. I couldn't have done any more.
A really beautiful dish, full of flavour, and I love the greeniness about it. That's what I love. I feel good when I eat it.
Well, you should feel good.
Yeah.
It's nice and balanced. It's Asian. You've got the coriander, you've got the chili, you've got the acidity. You know, taking barley, which is kind of so European, and kind of cooking it like that, I'm very impressed.
Absolutely love it. If you don't take it away, I'll eat it all.
Thank you.
I've worked really, really hard today. I'm feeling really proud that I've managed to plate up a dish that the judges love to eat.
The wasabi is a really great choice. I love eating it, but I've never actually used it in cooking before, so I'm a little bit worried about that. And also, I don't really have a solid plan for a dish yet. There are a couple of elements that I'm happy with, but I'm not sure how it's going to work as a total dish, so I'm a bit worried. I have these pickles and I have this wasabi. I'm not even sure if they go well together, but I need to start doing something. I'm thinking that I should deep fry the pickles and make sort of like a beer snack out of them and serve them with a wasabi mayonnaise. So I decide to deep fry these pickles. In the panko breadcrumbs, I put a little bit of fresh wasabi and also some nori sheet, and then I deep fry them in some oil. But I'm just not convinced. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm kind of just moving around, just picking things up, and I just feel really lost.
You're basically making us beer snacks, yeah?
Yeah, I am. With 18 minutes to go, Matt visits my bench and he is not sold on my idea for deep fried pickles, and I'm not either. I'm just not sure what to do with it.
You got 17 minutes to be sure.
I don't know what to do with it. And I'm feeling really confused. But I know I need to scrap my deep fried pickles and think of something else really delicious if I've got any chance at going into that immunity challenge.
Sorry. No, you can do it.
Oh my God. What I'm thinking of cooking now is a scallop and pork belly dish. So I'm going to really quickly sear the scallops and fry off some pork belly so it's nice and crispy. And then I'm going to make a fresh Japanese salad out of the wasabi plant and some daikon. Hopefully that's enough to give me an opportunity to get the pin. I'm really pleased that I've got a complete dish on the plate. About 18 minutes ago, I had nothing, so I'm pleased with myself that I got this up. But it's not my original idea, and I'm not sure if it's enough.
Is this a better dish than crumb pickles?
Yes, definitely.
I'll tell you what, it looks pretty good for an 18-minute dish. I'm quite surprised.
Yeah, no, that's great. Look.
Oh.
So tell us what the dish is.
So I've made scallops and bacon, but with Japanese flavours, crunchy daikon and wasabi salad, wasabi dressing, and pickled chilies.
Yum.
Gee,
looks
nice.
great.
Thank you.
That looks really good. Yeah, the dressing
amazing.
really lifts that dish. Really lifts that dish.
Oh, there's some wasabi power in there, isn't there?
Yeah.
You were going one way, it wasn't working, bang, into another way, and I love every bit of it because there's texture, there's flavour, but it's all about citrus and wasabi and beautifully cooked scallops.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think it's pretty, it's creative, and I love that wasabi kick. It's an addictive kind of sensation and flavour. And just that little addition of the pork crumb on the top just kind of ties it all together and gives it some richness. Love it.
Wow.
It's a great dish, great flavour, but what it's lacking probably is a bit of inventiveness. But for 18 minutes, impressive stuff. Ben, you chose tandoori, artichokes and vanilla, which means you have a 55-minute cook, and that starts now.
I'm doing a pan-fried tandoori with crispy skin shards. I'm going to do artichoke 3 ways and a vanilla bean hollandaise.
Pretty stressed, but I'm going to use it to my advantage and use that energy to try to cook the best that I can today.
Today I want to show the judges a whole lot of technique, so I'm going to try to do that in a few different ways. I'm going to fillet my fish, I'm going to make a technical hollandaise, and there's also a lot of work that goes into preparing a globe artichoke properly. If you don't, it can remain pretty stringy.
I haven't done a whole lot of work with artichoke, but I know it's a really tasty bit of produce, so I decided to run with it today.
I've only broken down artichoke twice before, so it is a real risk building my dish around them. But I feel if I can get this right, I'll really impress the judges. Artichokes are quite fibrous, so what you need to do is break down all the outer leaves, take it through the bulb, and then start to scoop out some of the furry insides. I place the artichokes in some acidic water for them to rest in, otherwise they're going to start to discolour.
Nice job, Ben.
Keep going, Ben.
Yep, you're a superstar.
I don't think I've ever worked so furiously on a vegetable before.
Ben, you look very, very determined, and you're catching our eye because you're preparing these artichokes beautifully.
Yeah, really beautiful. Nice. What's the dish?
So I'm going to do a vanilla bean hollandaise over a pan-fried tandoori with some artichokes.
Fun, wasn't it? Good idea.
I'm definitely trying a few new things today, but I really want to make myself and my kids proud. There's so much at stake today. I've given up a lot to be here. To go home now, it just wouldn't feel right. So I'm just going to fight with everything I've got today. I just can't go home. I'm doing a pan-fried tandoori with crispy skin shards, artichoke 3 ways, and a vanilla bean hollandaise. My artichokes are prepped, and it's time to get them cooking in 3 different ways. The first lot I'm going to roast. I quarter them into pieces. I season them with a little bit of salt and pepper, some grapeseed oil, and pop them on a tray in the oven. Next, I get some artichoke stems and put them in a vinaigrette to pickle. And last of all, I've got the deep fry going. Now I'm going to deep fry some of the artichoke supple leaves. With all my artichokes cooking away, it's time to grab the dory and start breaking it down. It's a tough fish to take apart. It's do or die at the moment. I take the dory and I assess where most of the meat is going to be. The knife goes into the tandoori. I just go through the fish. I just have to back myself.
Good job, Ben. Nice and steady, mate.
Doing well with that, Benny.
Beautiful, Ben.
I finish filleting the tandoori
Yeah!
and the gantry's going nuts. It's just egging me on to just work even harder and faster.
Come on, Ben.
So Ben, some beautiful preparation work. We watched the fish, the skin, the artichokes. Really, that's all great. Hollandaise.
It's going to work first time.
It's going to work first time for you. I love that.
I'm still feeling incredibly focused, but I know I'm running out of time. My artichokes are on the go, my fish is fried, and there's just one major thing left, that vanilla hollandaise. Vanilla is something a little bit different and a bit of a risk, but I think it's going to tie the dish together really well. I could go with a simpler sauce, but I'm not doing easy today. I want to show the judges technique. I'm whisking my hollandaise sauce like a madman. I'm putting all my strength into it.
Get that sauce perfect, Ben. That's going to bring this all together, yeah?
It's good. Yeah.
Good, Ben.
The consistency is really lovely. It's not super thick, but not too thin. And it's got a really beautiful buttery taste to it at the moment. And the vanilla bean is singing through.
So it's got to be nice and light, right acidity.
Yeah, you can taste the vanilla bean through it too. So.
Yeah. I think it tastes good. We'll see what the judges think. I feel like I've really done myself and my kids proud today.
Ben, what have you cooked?
I've done dory fillet with crispy skin shards, artichoke 3 ways, and a vanilla bean hollandaise.
All worked out as you'd planned?
Yeah, it's what I envisioned, so happy.
Okay.
A lot of pressure on today, but love my time in the kitchen. It's what I want to do.
But why haven't you done it before, Ben? Why haven't you?
Just with the kids, it would have been really hard to take on an apprenticeship, to try to survive on that sort of money and look after all of them as well.
Wow. Is it tough being away? Must be very tough being away from them, yeah?
It's tough, but they also give me strength. It's just gotten to the point where I've decided that this is what I want to do, and I'll do what it takes to make it work.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
I think the dory's cooked beautifully. The most important thing is crisp skin and the fact that the flesh is still lovely and tender and moist. And I think he's prepared those artichokes beautifully.
I think that's what I'm loving the most.
I like the fact that he's done the artichokes in 3 different ways, which is, I think, is that sort of stuff. When you've got a challenge like this, you've got limited ingredients, you want to hero them.
He's done a great job.
Yeah, great.
He's even passed that hollandaise, so there's, you know, it's really smooth, really shiny.
Showed lots of technique. We love that, don't you? You get excited when they make
I do.
hollandaise. And
yeah, love hollandaise, turned and cooked artichokes.
Come on, blue team, push!
Oh. Sarah's doing her sesame crusted prawns with wasabi mayonnaise. If she needs some help deveining the prawns, I've got the kingfish curing, so I get on to helping her.
All right, so do you want to take some and prep over there, maybe?
Yeah. If we don't start moving faster now, we're going to fall behind later.
So all I'm doing is tail on, last segment on, and I'm just pulling the vein out or picking it through the back.
You know, prepping prawns takes a long time. I've got to make sure all the prawns are shelled, and I've got to make sure all the prawns are properly deveined. And I have to do this for hundreds of prawns.
How many doing per serve?
40. I'm going to do 3 per serve, so I've got 40.
It's going to have a great visual effect with those 3 prawns standing up on the plate, but it is a bit of a risk. It means we have to prep so many prawns.
Seafood prep is going to be the toughest thing for us to overcome as a team, but the cooking of the seafood is going to be super quick. So as long as we can get this prepped at a really high speed, we'll be fine.
Come on, guys, keep going.
Ugh. Tonight, I'm making sesame crusted prawns with a wasabi mayo. We only have what we have, so I'm going to have to make this mayo by hand.
You're making a mayo?
Yeah.
Why don't you use the canister?
We don't have a canister.
No, this thing. Have you got egg? You got mustard?
Yeah.
Blend it until it's foamy.
Yep.
Yeah. And then start trickling the oil in.
Ah.
Stitch in time saves 9. Is that the saying?
Stitch in time.
Saves 9.
As if he's gonna know.
Okay, 1 whole egg. So I'm now using the food processor to actually make this mayo. I'm trying to make sure it's at a high speed. I'm drizzling oil in. I'm going as much as I can. I'm thinking it's not going to work.
Is that as fast as it goes?
Yeah.
Keep pouring it in. You've got nothing to lose.
And then suddenly, mayo.
Oh my God, guys.
Mayo?
Mayonnaise in a food processor.
Oh. Whoa.
So this is Sarah's black and white sesame crusted prawns, wasabi mayo, and she's done a little salad under there too.
Boom.
Yeah, I love the look of it. Yeah.
That is MasterChef. It comes to Aliwano Dining in Tokyo.
It just looks beautiful. That crispy sesame coating is just absolutely delicious. The prawns, tender, perfectly cooked.
Give me the prawns and that mayonnaise, that's all I want.
Yeah.
I love it.
I quite like the crunch of the prawns against the softness of that wilted, the wilted coriander. You know, and that's an absolute ripper dish.
3 prawn away, please.
Today I'm cooking crayfish in a Thai-style broth. The concept today is basically based around my memories of being home in Malaysia. My mum would usually cook dinner every night, and my dad, he often goes to the market to get fresh seafood. He's set up outside like this barbecue area, and he cooks the seafood outside. And my mum would prepare a broth for every dinner. We'll all have it together, the broth and the seafood, and it just somehow works together. This is the sort of food that I absolutely love to eat, and it's full of flavor, and it's definitely my style of cooking. So my mom likes the traditional type of cooking. I really want to make a broth identical to hers. Mom cooks it on the stove for 2 or 3 hours, so it's a little bit different, but hopefully I do it justice today. Everything is relying on this broth. The balance has to be perfect. It has to be punchy, but it can't be overpowering, because the hero ingredient today is the crayfish.
What's your dish? What's it all about?
So the protein is crayfish, and it's in a Thai broth. It's flavors that I absolutely love eating. It reminds me of my parents. My mom loves cooking, a really spicy broth.
Remember that often the secret to Thai broths is putting those aromatics in at the last moment. Right, so make that infusion, but also remember that volatility of all those beautiful flavours.
Take us to the place.
Yeah.
Okay. Gary says the secret to making a good broth is to reinforce the aromats at the end. It's exactly what my mum does, just to reinforce the flavour, and that's what I'm going to do today. Broth on the stove, reducing. The next thing I'm going to move on to is cooking my ikan bilis, which is basically small baby anchovies. We usually have these as snacks before dinner with a nice cold beer, so I think it'd be a lovely addition. The next thing I'm going to move on to is cooking my crayfish. It's important that I cook this crayfish properly. There's a lot of pressure riding on this. It has to be spot on, and it has to be perfect. This is make or break for me. I really, really have to fight to be at the top, and I'm going to give it my all.
Come on, Di.
The next element to this dish is my cafe lime oil. I'm going to blanch some cafe lime leaves and then blitz it up and then strain that through a muslin cloth. I've got my broth on the go, so I'm just adjusting the flavors. So I've added a little bit of prawn head and some coconut milk just to give it that, sort of to balance out the flavor. And then I'm going to pass it through a muslin. So I get a really rich, clear broth. I'm really happy with the flavors. I've got to be careful on the chili though, because it is a little bit spicy, but I think they can handle it. It's all about perfection and precision today. Thai-style broth with crayfish.
That looks beautiful, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does look amazing.
Hey? It's a refined version of what she spoke about.
Yeah.
And I think it's wonderful and perfect for this part of the competition.
Looks delicious, very simple. And I love the idea of the lime leaf oil. It's just that little creative extra that makes it a little different.
Can't wait to try it.
I love that.
I think it's delicious. It's really beautiful. You know what I like about it? It's much more aromatic and flavourful than it is, say, hot. You know, when you think about something like a tom yum, often it's really burny hot, numbs your lips. This is really subtle, and it's the aromatics that shine through. Things like the kaffir lime leaf, which just runs through the whole thing. And I love the fresh tomato. You know, it's been roasted and peeled, it's soft, adds a nice level of acid, and she's cooked the crayfish beautifully.
That's a cracking dish.
The saltiness of the broth makes both the tomato and the lobster taste so much sweeter. I think it's a really elegant, we know she's got the touch when it comes to broths of Southeast Asian flavours, and here it's eminently clear why she's done so well in this competition. Yeah. This shows development, it shows the cook emerging, you know, the 5-year-old sitting at the table, the memory of eating with her mum and dad.
Great start.
Yeah, beautiful.
Let's get the next dish in. The first thing that we're going to do is make a rice cream. And what we've got here is this really awesome local rice from North Honshu Island, and they're famous for this particular rice. And it's a really beautiful, slightly polished rice, and I think perfect for this creamy rice puree that we're going to make. So in there goes 60 grams of rice, 350 grams of cream, 150 grams of milk, full fat, the good stuff. We've got 10 grams of sugar and 2.5 grams of salt. We put the temperature onto 100 degrees, speed 5 for 20 minutes. Yeah, Aaron?
George, you could presumably make that just simmer it on the stovetop, just give it a stir every now and again.
Yeah, and then right at the end, liquidize it.
And then just blitz at the end.
Yeah. Right, so the next texture and puree I want on this little seafood salad is uni. It's sea urchin. I mean, have a look at the way they prepare them here, beautifully in that packaging. That's super fresh and super, super delicious. Now, we've got to get the reduction going. So we've got 55 grams of shallot, some sliced garlic, 5 grams of that, 80 grams of sake, 60 grams of mirin. So I want to reduce that down a bit within the shallots just to really intensify that flavour. Okay, so we've brought the mirin and the sake up to the boil. We've reduced that down in the shallots. It smells wonderful. At this point, I just turn it all off, okay? And what I want to do is just cool down that mixture, okay? At this point here, it's probably around 50, 60 degrees. I take the uni and I just drop that in. An egg goes in. 4 grams of soaked gelatine goes in, salt. And all I'm doing now is moving everything around and sort of bringing everything to the exact same temperature before I blend, before I add melted butter, and before I cook. Now, let's liquidize this. So 70 grams of melted butter. And I just gently drizzle that in. Okay. Right. Ben, can you come and help me? Please? Yeah, I struggle. How do I use this thing? You hold the bag, I'll pour it in. Done.
Just vacuum and seal.
Vacuum and seal? Yep. Done. Fantastic. So that then now goes into the water bath. Yep. So 57 degrees for 20 minutes, right? Now, once that's cooked, take it out of the water bath and chill it straight away. Thank you, mate. Okay, so our seafood salad is starting to come together. Next bit is we need to turn some daikon. Okay, this is a cool machine. They sell them everywhere here. And this is one big daikon. Onto the machine like this. And what we end up with are these cool sheets, yeah? Okay, now I want to create these little inverted rigatonis that's going to fill up that hole inside of that cutter. Okay, ruler, yeah? So what I want to do is cut the strips into 2.5 centimetre width, and then we cut the strips into 6 centimetre lengths. And then you take a steel, cling film, you basically cover the outside of the steel because I'm going to use this to wrap these little rigatonis. And what I want it to do is stick together. There's one. So we keep going until it's full. And the next thing is what I'm going to show you how to dress it. Okay, guys, so we've made our rice cream. We've made our uni parfait, all right? We've set that aside in piping bags, all right? That looks absolutely fantastic. I've also made a mushroom ketchup. This is going to add some real sort of oomph, some real flavour, some guts, all right? So we've got 3 different purees, same texture, but different flavours, okay? Now we need to start building this seafood salad up with a bit more substance. We've got these beautiful crab legs, local, again, delicious, simply been steamed off and picked out of the shell. I've got some of the roasted rice tea, yeah, which is fantastic. I've got some shiso that I've just dipped in a very, very light sugar syrup and dehydrated, okay, to get these beautiful little chips. The most amazing tomatoes, we just bruised them slightly in a dehydrator to intensify that flavour. I mean, these are incredible. I've got some flying fish roe. I've got some of these little enoki mushrooms, these gold top ones, that I've just steeped them in a little bit of ponzu, some soy sauce, just to give them a little bit of flavour. Right, let's start to put this together. First thing I do is I'm going to pipe all those rigatonis. Okay, now we take the ring off gently. So these beautiful little mushrooms, some crab, just, you know, doesn't need to be dressed because we've got that beautiful dressing underneath. All right, our little tomatoes. Right, I just want to put one uni on there just to represent the parfait. Flying fish roe. So our little sort of dehydrated and slightly crystallised shiso leaf. Some of that roasted rice tea. And this will add another little depth of flavour. Fresh wasabi, we're in Japan, why not? And I'm just gonna pop a few little drops of that onto the salad. And guys, that's my Japanese-inspired seafood salad. Who wants to taste? Aaron, Ben, come on.
I don't even want to break it up. It looks so good.
Come on, get in there.
Everything's so rich and creamy, and then the daikon, like, just is so nice.
Yeah, it's crisp and crunchy because we haven't, you know, salted it or washed it. It's kept its real vibrance. Happy?
Yeah, delicious.
Brilliant, guys.
There are no limitations as to what we can cook today. We can put up any dish we want. I'm thinking about things that I love to cook with, and I love squid, so I'm gonna be cooking squid today, and I wanna pair it with some beautiful greens.
Go, Daisy.
Good job, babe.
Today is all about showing the judges how far I've come in this competition. So I want to show a few different techniques, a few different cooking styles, and also just respecting the ingredients. So I'm going to use a hibachi grill to cook my squid. So I just want that beautiful char on the outside. And then I'm going to pair it with some peas and mint. To go with the squid dish, I'm going to do a prawn head oil. I put onions and garlic into a pan, and I add in some chili and tomatoes. I just kind of want a little bit of chili heat in contrast to my beautiful greens. It's got all the flavors that I grew up eating back in Malaysia, but it's refined. Because today's all about refinement for me. I want to put up a dish that's elegant and sophisticated. Oh, it's such an important cook. I totally wasn't expecting an elimination today, but I'm just gonna focus and make sure I get through today and put out a beautiful dish.
Come on, Daisy.
Today I'm making charred squid, cucumbers, peas and mint. My prawn head oil is on the go.
Nice. Smells good.
The next thing I'm moving on to are the peas. This pea juice is going to act like a sauce and it's got that beautiful natural sweetness that's going to tie the whole dish together. I'm definitely feeling the pressure of who I'm serving today. Not only are we cooking for the judges, we're cooking for 4 of Australia's best chefs. You got Ella with Tasker, Shannon Bennett, Ross Lusted, and Peter Gilmore. I want to do myself proud.
Right. You seem pretty confident.
Well, I'm thinking about things I love to cook and love to eat. And it's definitely seafood and lots of greens.
Great, that's a good idea. Remember, they're chefs, right?
Yeah.
They're expecting, you know, lots and lots of detail, lots and lots of flavour. They're going to be driving into whatever's at the heart of that dish, all right? It's almost just got to be simply one of the tastiest dishes you've put up.
Definitely.
All right?
Thanks,
Yeah?
Gary. They're going to be expecting amazing food today, and I'm just hoping I can deliver that because I don't want to go home today.
Smells nice in here.
Thanks, Gary. My prawn head oil and pea juice are ready to go. Now it's time to start cooking my squid. The hibachi grill gives it that beautiful charcoal flavour, and it just adds a different depth to this dish. But it's a fine line between overcooking the squid and undercooking it. Overcooked, it'll be too chewy. Undercooked, it's not good. I'm cooking squid for some of the best chefs in Australia. It's incredible pressure high. I know that they're expecting a lot from us, so I really have to deliver today.
Right, listen up. Diana, you've got 5 minutes, OK? So this
Yes,
is
Gary.
service time. Get going.
I want to make sure this dish is beautiful. I put some pea juice at the bottom of each plate and a few pieces of the charred squid and charred cucumber on top of that. It smells fragrant and really, really beautiful. I add the fresh snow peas and some pickled radishes. The plate's coming together. It's got a beautiful, vibrant green colour and it's got this speckle of red from the prawn head oil. Today I've made charred squid with cucumber, peas and mint.
Why did you choose this dish?
I love cooking with seafood and I love greens. So I wanted the dish to resemble myself and it's all about, you know, just fresh, beautiful produce. And yeah, it's pretty much me on a plate.
Great, I love it. I think it's beautiful.
No, well done.
Thank
it's
you.
really, really good. It's pretty
beautiful,
spectacular. Looks pretty.
Thank you.
And nice to see you work in the kitchen. Really efficient, on the ball, knew where you wanted to do.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Enjoy.
Diana. Thanks.
Wow, that looks spectacular. I mean, this is an amateur cook, guys. Incredible stuff.
Beautiful.
What do you think, Pete?
Very pretty. It's gorgeous. It's sort of, you know, looks like the garden. And I love the combination of seafood and vegetables like this. It's always fresh and beautiful to eat. And I think she's done a great job.
It's nice that there's a lot of different techniques in the one dish. You can actually see she's thought about it quite a lot, and there'll be some interesting textures, I'm sure.
Beautiful stuff.
Great, let's start. Come on.
Let's do it.
Very fresh.
I like it. I'm going back for another spoonful. It's nice.
What a lovely, intelligent salad. A beautiful way to start. I mean, I love it. I love the fact that you can pick up all those different techniques in terms of freshness and the char and the blanching. And then there's a little funk from that prawn head chili oil. I think it's a really clever, sophisticated modern plate of food.
It's the sort of food I love. And she's cooked this dish with a real subtlety and appreciation of keeping the flavours pure and true.
There's a finesse in there as well. The way she's trimmed the sugar snaps, they're cooked just perfectly, so they're not raw, but they still have that amazing texture.
Yeah.
And refinement. For a young cook, it's impressive.
Ella?
Well, I've got to say that when it landed, I thought to myself, a little bit too pretty for its own good, that it's all about the looks. I actually am surprised by how good this dish is. and the hit of chilli is just perfect, really perfect. Finishes it off on the palate.
The calamari, the way it's cooked, gelatinous, perfect. There's a lot of chefs right now that would be at the top of their game cooking something like this. So I'm impressed.
Just one past that, pretty high bar.